All right, we are live. I see people are joining. Hello, Edwin. Hello, Fred. Hello, Sam. Hello, Mario. So many of you are already joining. Hello, Timur. And we are live again. This is for
Hi,
third
everybody.
time through, guys.
Third, yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
this is for the third time, and today we're talking about amazing topics. I mean, guys, you are really passionate about it. It's an e-commerce.
My absolutely preferred topic. Hi, Jacob.
Yeah, so everybody who are joining, this is SyncSpider webinar number 3 with Norbert and Alexander. My name is Jakub. I'm CMO of PitchGround. I'll be hosting these webinars with these two amazing gentlemen. So if you have any questions whatsoever, feel free to ask your questions. Ask them below in the comments on Facebook, in our Facebook group or our Facebook page, or here in Zoom. And as I said, we'll be talking about e-commerce and how to put your e-commerce on autopilot. So Norbert, Alex, tell me a little bit about your background in e-com, because I know that SyncSpider was meant to be purely e-com, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Before we do this, we should discuss about today's contest.
Oh yeah, you're right, guys. You seem to love SyncSpider jackets, so we prepared another contest, another giveaway, and today's giveaway will be maybe a little bit more entertaining, because you will show your pure creativity of picking the best SyncSpider gift, Spider-Man gift there is.
Yeah.
So Norbert, can you please tell the full rules, what people should do?
Well, the rules are quite easy. Just comment with your favorite Spider-Man GIF to the thread of this webinar. And yeah, we will pick the most beautiful GIF that we like best and give the winner to this. So if there are similar GIFs, we will randomly choose one, but just post the best Spider-Man GIF. This is it.
That's true. That's true. So, guys, if you have any favorite GIF, just comment it right now, and we will.
Let me pick a jacket. One moment. So here it is. One jacket from these with the beautiful SyncSpider logo. Here and there and there, and it's really a cool soft shell jacket. Perfect for going outside when it's not too hot and not too warm, and not too cold. Okay.
Yeah, so, Mario is asking, where's the best place to put those GIFs? Of course, it's the best to do it on Facebook. So please just comment it in our Facebook group. I'm posting the link inside the chat right now.
Yeah.
So Norbert, have you prepared some really cool presentation slides as usual?
Yes, maybe, I don't know, we will see. So let me just jump in and share my screen. I don't really know. So you see my screen, yeah?
Oh yeah, we do.
Okay, here we go. So first of all, why e-commerce and a bit of the backgrounds. So my core company, or where SyncSpider comes from, is the e-commerce world. So my core company, or the mother company of SyncSpider, is creating web shops for clients. We typically work with Magento and WooCommerce, but we also worked with PrestaShop. We worked with Shopify, with Shopware, which is Germany-based shopping cart solution, and nearly every web shop that we built so far needed some kind of integration. So nearly every web shop either needed a synchronization from or to the ERP software, so sending products from a local Windows ERP software to a web shop, or updating product data, getting orders, bringing shipping details to the fulfillment center, sending products to marketplaces, getting orders from marketplaces. So there's a lot of integrations that we've been requested so far, and this was the main reason, or the starting point, why we built SyncSpider, the universal e-commerce middleware. This was really the first thing that we did working for e-commerce only. And with you PitchGround guys, we introduced web apps as well. But today,
thank you for it.
yeah, absolutely. But today we are talking about e-commerce, and this is really the core where we come from and where we have really, really the most experience synchronizing something. And for a better understanding, I have just some numbers from German-speaking areas here. We have over 600 ERP providers only in the German-speaking areas. And these are just the named ones. There are not even close the very small ones that are not even in the list. So 600 ERP providers, 200 shopping cart solutions worldwide, over 200. I need to add over. So they're very, very specific niche products that are considered as a shopping cart solution. And there are hundreds of marketplaces and portals in different niches and countries. So really a lot where you can get data from or send data to. And if you would like to connect all of them, there are millions of possible connections you could set up to just achieve those basic synchronization things for your specific setup. So the current situation is, you know that already from the first webinar, but you just need to understand for e-commerce, it's much more time consuming if you need to copy paste on daily basis. So you need to copy paste product data, stock data, especially stock data is something that is painful because you have listings on different channels, which means you will copy paste just one value to different channels as soon as the sale happens because it needs to be accurate. Or you build a costly individual integration, which is really, for e-commerce, it's really expensive and it's really a pain in the ass because the providers work on their API and on their features and they change it frequently. So for every system that we implemented since we started, we have at least 2 or 3 versions of the API already because they're changing so a lot. And with every new version of a web store, they are changing something. And you always need to be aware that you have that ready when you upgrade.
Yes.
And the other thing is a plugin for every need. So especially when it comes to Magento or what else, and you install, let's say, the first plugin, which is just an importer. Yeah, the regular importer of Magento is a nightmare, so you install an importer plugin. Then you install an eBay plugin and then Amazon plugin, and then you will install an ERP connector and maybe the Rakuten plugin, and then the plugin for MailChimp and the plugin for this and for that. And you have 10,500 plugins in your store, and the store does everything else but selling and being performant in the front end. They do things that a webshop should simply not do, thinking about synchronizing everything with everything. So this is something a webshop was not built for. And you always have a third-party provider on the boat. So not one, but several ones, because they have all the different plugins have different providers. So you need to rely on every third-party provider. And this is why all of those three things are no-goes. First of all, time-consuming. Secondly, pricing. And third is trust, performance, and upgradability. And especially for e-commerce, it really matters that you build in automations. We had that example as well, $20 per hour salary of an employee here in Europe. I need to say that because on some areas of the world, of course, the hourly rates are a bit cheaper. On some, it's a bit more expensive. But here in Europe, it's about $20 per hour, which covers all the side costs like social activities and being ill, going on vacations. So this is the diameter per hour rate. We have 10 orders per day, 5 minutes copy pasting per order, which means 10 orders multiplied with 5 minutes, multiplied with 30 days means 1,500 minutes or 25 hours of just copy paste.
Damn.
So yeah, if you calculate that, you have $500 in costs each and every month with just copy pasting. And then we're just talking about orders. We did not talk about products. We did not talk about customer data. And we did now just talk about orders in ERP software. We did not send the order to the fulfillment or something like this. We just copy pasted it to the ERP software where we need it. And this is why we built SyncSpider, to have a system that gives you really extensive e-commerce features. So we built this for WooCommerce, Magento, Shopify, Presta, Lightspeed, Shopware, and the Austrian marketplace Shopping, which is also a web shop solution, not just a marketplace. So you can also just list products if you don't have a web store. So I considered it a bit as a web shop. And we, of course, are aware that we need to implement a lot of other web shops as well. But these are the shops that we started with. And we can, for these stores, we can send products, including variations and metadata, so attributes, variations for t-shirts, for instance, color, size, whatever you have as a variation. This is one thing that we can do. We can import and export orders. Both ways are possible, which is interesting if you want to migrate from one system to another, or if you want to have all your orders from a marketplace back into your store because you don't have an ERP software or something like that, and you would like to have all orders on one central place, then you import the orders back to your store. We can work with customers. So we can export, import customers. We can send them, for instance, to CRM, or to newsletter software, or to Google Sheets, or wherever you need it. And we can do product updates. Why is this separated? I could do products as anyway. Product updates are interesting because a full synchronization of your whole stock data might take quite a while. It's not because that SyncSpider is so slow. It's because the target systems have mostly a very strict API, and they're quite slow in the API. So one request to the API can take, with the full rounds, 1 or 2 seconds. And if you have 20,000 products, it simply takes a while to make a full sync. And this is why we introduced a feature called product updates, so that you can do the full product sync and the full setup extra, and that you can send product stock and price in real time, so that you don't lose too much time synchronizing those very important values, stock and price.
All right, Norbert, we have a 3 questions so far. Let me quickly go through them.
Sure.
Question. By the way, guys, you are sending amazing gifts in the comments, so keep it coming. So, question from Sam: is this webinar based on Shopify or WooCommerce, PrestaShop, Magento, and or e-commerce in general?
E-commerce in general.
All right. Question from Luis Polaszek, and he's asking: do you have check cart integration, CS minus cart integrations?
No, we don't have that yet. But
I believe that Luis, you can suggest everything on syncspider.feedbeer.com.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
syncspider.feedbear.com. So you can suggest all integrations you want in there. And question from Akim.
Feedbeer and Feedbear. It's typical for our region here. that we know beer more than bears.
That's true, but it's a feed bear like an animal.
Yeah.
And 2 questions from Akim. Akim was asking regarding to the slide with where we were talking about WordPress plugins. Akim was asking, so there is a plugin for WordPress?
Yes, we have a WordPress plugin as well, which extends the feature set of WooCommerce and allows us even to let you fill WordPress posts and custom post types.
All right. Okay. And another question from Akim. At the weekend, we talked about triggers from other plugins, for example, LearnDash. Will Woo plugin work with that as well?
Yes, Woo has, for instance, a trigger-based system. So we can send and receive data based on event triggers.
All right, perfect. Thanks a lot. That's it for now.
Okay, good. Now use cases. Amazon. So you might send products to web shops, for instance, or to Amazon. The logo should not be there, so it should appear later, but okay, it's here already. Send products to web shops. Send product updates to web shops and marketplaces. Import, export orders. Send shipping data to fulfillment. Export customers to your newsletter or to a CRM, including the orders, for instance. And what's very interesting is local ERP synchronization. So I still see a lot of e-commerce store owners that have some local system set up where they manage all the data. Mostly they have a POS or something like this where the data comes from. And this is very cool that we have a Windows application that you can connect to your database and get the data from that ERP software and send it directly to the web shop. And you could even send back the orders and write it directly into the database of your software. It's, let's say, it's always something that you need to test extensively because writing directly to databases is very, very risky. But we have a lot of users that created a separated database for where we write in the orders and they grab it from there. But typically it's more the way out of the ERP, which is even the most important because there is the stock and you need the stock accurate on all the marketplaces.
Yes.
So this is what we do for all these systems here. And you can connect every system with each other. For instance, you can connect them to all the marketplaces that we support. And we will also work on Amazon US, eBay, and Etsy. While we are talking, the team is already preparing those integrations. So you have a full stack very, very soon to also support these channels that are not so important here in my area. So for us, it's Amazon and shopping here in Austria, which is so important. eBay here is already shrinking and Etsy is not so there, but we have already studied their APIs. We know what we need to do and everything will be up and ready pretty soon. So you have your channels available when you need it.
All right, perfect. Question from Alex. Would you show us today an example with Shopify?
I can try to make a Shopify example. I prepared a WooCommerce example, but I think
we can do both. I mean,
yeah, I think I just need to set up a Shopify store in my partner account. This is 1 or 2 minutes more time we need, so I will. Yeah. Okie dokie. So let me jump directly to SyncSpider. Product demo, I'm already here. So what I prepared for today is I would like to import products to a store and I would like to export orders from a store. And a space, I am using CSV files. It's common that you get some kind of CSV files. So just let me find the right file. One moment. That you see what I have here.
So you will be connecting WooCommerce, right, with CSV?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Even with Excel. So it's an Excel file that I have here. Just let me open that one. Here it is. So this is how a typical Excel file with product data looks like. So we have here an SKU. We have a parent SKU if it is a variation product. We have a name. It's often the same because it's just the difference is just here in the color and the size. We have a category. We have an image. There's a price. The price is different for all those types. We have short description, long description. So this is how a typical sheet with products looks like. You often get such sheets from dropshipping companies. So when you are a dropshipper, you get Excel files, or from your suppliers that you are selling goods for, you get such files, and they are structured differently. Some might don't have a parent SKU and name it unique identifier, or whatever they call the file, the headlines. They might not have a short description, but a description. They might name it differently. And I have seen files that have 50, 60 of those columns with different values and different attributes. And this is the cool thing about SyncSpider. It doesn't matter how the file looks like. You just need to have those values in that file that are required for the target system. So if you have any kind of file, if they look different, it doesn't matter. You don't need to meet our structure to import products. You can have any structure. So I can change things here easily, and it will work the same way. And this is a very interesting fact. I have one web shop in our portfolio that is selling advertising items, and they have over 50 different providers for the goods that they are selling. So, and they all have entirely different files with entirely different structure. And we import all of them with SyncSpider to one Magento store, mapping them together in the right category, and so on and so on. So this is really, really cool thing. So
quite relevant question from Yusuf right now. He's asking how it collects the images from e-commerce websites. Some site image requirements are different from each other.
So the images, in this case for the import, I just picked some from Unsplash. So I provide just the image URL, which in this case will not work because it's not JPEG. So yeah, but typically you just provide an image URL, so you host it somewhere, or I can show you right away in the app. So just let me hop in. I will come back to that question again when we are at the settings. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So let me create one task and just pick a source, the CSV. This CSV integration is already connected. Let me just create one new CSV integration just for an example. What is there? So let's pick CSV new. Next. So, and here we can choose the storage type. We have local, which means I can upload the file each and every time that I want to run the task. So this is for manual imports. I can also connect to an external Sftp server, so you host the file anywhere. I can connect an FTP server, same thing as Sftp, but not so secure. Then we have SyncSpider Sftp, so we create an Sftp host for you, and you store the files there on our host, so you need to have your very own host. And the last option is Google Drive. So you can connect your Google account and store the data on Google Drive, and even choose Google Sheets here as the source. So this is also a way to go, in a very attractive way, because Google Drive, when you have the G Suite, you have maybe unlimited storage, so you can do whatever you want. So local is that one that I picked for my demo, and I go up here and pick that one. No, it's even Sftp, sorry. And I just pick custom CSV as a source. Okay, so pick this up and go to the next step. Just give it a name and say we want to import products to WooCommerce. And now we pick the targets. I have here my playground that I will use, but I would like to also show you how easily how easily you can connect WooCommerce. It's really very, very easy. So just go to the WooCommerce settings, and then you have advanced. And here you can create REST API. And here you can create a new key. So just add a new key, give it a name, Then let it read and write and generate the key. Now you get two values. And here in SyncSpider, you pick the WooCommerce integration, give it a name, hit the next button, provide the webshop URL without the WP admin, and then you just paste in those keys here and finish. And now the WooCommerce is integrated, so we are validating if everything is cool. It is, and now it's already here. And I just pick here that I want to import orders. So you can also, you see, pick products, and you can also pick orders or order statuses for order status update. I will pick product now, hit the next button, and here we go. I am asked to pick my source file. So let me go here, navigate to my files. It's under public HTML. It's under CSV tests. So 1 second, I just want to upload the latest change. Give me a second. I uploaded via FileZilla. Oh, doesn't matter. Just this. We can do it with that old file. Select. So, and then you can define what to do with the CSV file. So, first of all, we analyzing the file and see that it's comma separated, that it has the sign as enclosure, and now you can say what to do with that file after we imported it. So we can do nothing, we just keep it on the servers, but we can also delete the file, rename the file, move the file, or move the file and rename it. So we can add a timestamp to it, so you have an archive of all your historical imports. In this case, I will do nothing. Also, we can choose what to do. We could replace the record, so we take the whole file and send it to the shop. Or we can even update records. As soon as I choose this, I need to select a unique column, which is the SKU typically. So this means we keep all the files stored on our servers.
Okay.
And we compare the file that you sent before the last import with the new file. And we just send the changed data to your store. Why this is important and why this matters? The API of such a web store really is slow. I mentioned that a bit earlier. And the less data that we send, the better it is for the shop, the less performance you need for the web shop. And this is why we're comparing them, and we allow you that feature. So we are just sending the delta and speed up the whole process. Also, we can define what to do if there's something wrong in the file. We can...
Like what? What can be wrong in the file?
SKU is missing, price is missing, name is missing, stock is missing, and all those could be required attributes for the destination. And if this happens, we can skip the entire row. So we continue with the import, but we skip the entire row. Or we can just unset that specific value. Maybe instead of a stock, which is a number expected, or a price which expects a number, you send a text string. The rest would be valid. Then we just unset that value, and the product will be created anyway. And you have a detailed error log later on, what was unset, what did not work, and you can correct it later on yourself. So let me go here, unset value, that's fine. Now
there's a question from Alex.
Yeah.
Why not just read, instead read/write?
When I just read in WooCommerce, I can just export something from WooCommerce. I cannot write something to WooCommerce. As we now want to send product data, we need to be allowed to write something.
All right.
Okay. The analysis of the file. So what the tool also does is we are analyzing the file, and we give you already an idea about which field types you have. In this case, SKU and parent SKU are here as plain numbers. We checked all and we see, okay, these are numbers, so it's from the type and number type. I don't need numbers here. I will change it to text because it doesn't matter for WooCommerce in this case. It need not have a number. But for price, for instance, it needs to be a number, and I can further define it. So I know that WooCommerce expects as decimal separator, it expects a period.
Mm-hmm.
In Europe, it's common that the decimal separator is a comma, and that we don't have a thousand separator, so empty. This is how we would validate the price here. Okay. In this case, it's set like this, so I keep it. I can also change it back to text in this case because I know that my prices have no commas and so on, so the input will work even with that. And what I can do as well is if I know the category, for instance, so I know already all my categories that are available in that file. So I have t-shirts here, but I could also have shoes, whatever, and I know this already. I can set it up. I can say, okay, this one is an hierarchy attribute, and we have the root, which is t-shirts, and we also have shoes. And for shoes, we divide into man, and we have also woman.
Mm-hmm.
So, and so I can build up my entire tree. I can even define if a product can have more than one category. So it can have separated values for categories, and I can define how they are separated. Let's choose a semicolon, just as an example. So in my file, it would look like this. If I would like to assign this product to t-shirts and what I did, semicolon, and to apparel, I would fill it up like this. I could also choose some other separator like the pipe or whatever you want. You can choose it in the import process. And so this product would be assigned to two categories. So you're always able to have multiple values in a file. I will deselect this one and just proceed to the next step. Here I can filter. So there might be, let's say, another column that states active. You want to have the product active or not active. You can have 1 for active and 0 for not active. And then you can filter and say, I want to just import all the products that have in the column active value 1. So just pick here SKU as an example and imagine it could be the active column equals to 1, and now only products that have in that specific column a 1 will be imported, all others will be ignored. And you can add more filters to your file. And so you can fully structure what you want to import to your store or not. And then we have the destination configuration, and this is always specific for the e-commerce solution. In this case, WooCommerce has 3 options that you can choose from. First of all, you can choose which is the unique identifier. In this case, I choose SKU. I want to create parent product automatically, and I want to only update mapped attributes. I can enable or disable that. So I would overwrite now all attributes that are even not mapped. I would delete them. In this case, when I enable it, I will just update those values that are mapped, which is interesting for those product price and stock update, to just send really those 2 values and ignore the rest. And this is why we have it. Mm-hmm. And now we are again in the heart of SyncSpider. I can enable the focus mode, and this bit longer loading here is just because we are really fetching the right data from the store while it's loading. So we're really getting the latest status of the attributes. Mm-hmm. if I would change now an attribute, I could also go here and say refresh destination schema. So we are loading those attributes again. If you don't see it here and you know you changed something already here and added a new attribute or a new option to configure a product, you can fetch the latest values by just clicking that icon. And all you need to do is map. So name to name, SKU, and it doesn't matter how it's called. In the German, it's Artikelnummer. It's called SKU. It's the German word, and a lot of those German products just have some shortening like art and R, so article number, or they have UID, unique identifier, or EAN, or whatever they have as that value. It doesn't matter. We read the values from your CSV, and you just drag and drop and do the mapping. So let me do SKU. Let me do description, short description. And now very interesting, the categories. Here comes the reason why I first added my categories, because in this store, there are already a category tree. It's already something there. So I want to have my categories mapped to the target categories. And now I just drop it here and the window appears. And I can say, okay, if I find a value that is not yet in the target store, what should I do? In this case, none, but I could also say, well, map automatically or create dynamically. So we will automatically create on the fly the category and assign the product. But for those categories that are already there, I have them here now. And I can say, okay, t-shirts belong to t-shirts. And shoes, or the man shoes, belong to uncategorized. And I can go deeper and deeper with that. So I can really map everything there, pre-map everything one time. If I already have a category tree and I have a drop shipper that has an entire other category tree than I have, I can map those categories and I don't need to do it later in the shop. Okay? So it's a huge time saver. For the image, I just need to map the URL. So I just need to go here, find my image and map it. It's the URL, it's mapped. I can also do a preview now and I can see how would that look like for my product. So it's loading, and this is real time, and this is why it's a bit slow. We're really loading the values, how the store would work with it. And it's exactly the same result when we later on send the data that you can see left and right. It really takes a bit too long now. I want to, yeah, here it is. So we really see that we would send the stock like this. We would, yeah, send the image. Here is the URL. So everything is mapped. I see the values. I can go to the next one and check how this will look like and so on. And I see here for the SKU that it's sending it with comma separated and so on. And this is not really cool. So I can go back to the source configuration, because it seems that the file is sending that in the Excel, and I don't like to have it like this. So I change SKU back to number, because I want to have more real SKU, and say 1000 separator is empty. I don't want to have anything there. And I have a period as a separator, and then I click done. And now the comma will be gone when I do another preview. You don't see the comma anymore. Well, skip the preview now because it's just taking a while, and you see it's unset because we changed it from the type of a text to numbers. So it's really, really extensive what you can do. And now I have another setting screen, because I set it as a number and I want to map it to the structure of my store and say, okay, the decimal separator is period, the 1000 is empty, and I don't want to have numbers after the decimal. So I now really have just the number and not 1,000.00. I just have the number as I have it here in Excel. And this is
Norbert. Question from Kulzar, and he's asking, what about adding URL as a XML/CSV source? Many dropshippers provide an URL where you can download the actual data.
Yes, that's possible. It's just another storage type of the CSV. So you have a feed, and you provide the URL of the file instead of the of
Location.
uploading it. Yeah. So the location is like an external FTP storage. I can show you for images here in that case as well. Let me just again go back to CSV, because this is also something that for drop shippers it's often the case, or you even no, sorry, I'm too far. When you think about importing products, you might have your images on your local server. Okay, so you have a folder where you have all the images, and in the file you might provide something like image name, just image name, something like blah blah.jpg and whatever it is, or you know that you always have the image is always called sku.jpg. We have that quite often. What you then can do is you can define an image as image type. Okay, and then you can say how or how is this image provided? Is it a full URL that is in the image, or is the path missing? So you have just a JPEG, but you know, as you just have a name like asdf.jpg, but you know you need to add with whatever .com/ and so it's downloaded, and you can open that in the browser and it's downloaded. So you can extend that here. So we're extending that column with the path, but you also can pick it from the storage. So you can say it's on the same storage as the file, but on a different folder, or it's on another FTP folder, and we connect to that folder and pick the image from there. So there's simply no options that you don't get an image, which is really extended. And again, multiple values are possible. So for images, it's all covered like dropshippers send them.
If I may jump in just really quickly, I think that all part that Norbert was just saying as just answers this question we'll be getting. How do you differ from Zapier? So with such powerful engine behind Synspire, you can do so much, as you see, and as you have seen now. But what I'm interested also to hear from our audience now. For me, this is all simple, and basically what Norbert is showing here is how easily you can choose which data you want to send to which shop. Do you want to update it, product, price, whatever? But is this simple enough for you? Do you understand this, what we're saying, or do you need any clarification on any of this? That's what I wanted to ask.
Yeah, guys. So if you understand, if you have any problems understanding this process, just leave the comment in the Zoom or maybe on the Facebook, depends on where you're watching, and then we can take it from there and discuss like what should be maybe explained a little bit more thoroughly, or what might be changed in future.
Because it's I know it's a lot. It looks, perhaps for somebody watching it the first time, it can look complicated, but it's basically very simple, just dragging and dropping. And but the whole process is to help you basically to update prices, products. Sorry, my mouth just tied, and we are here to help.
And it's already really extensive what we're discussing here, because we're not just discussing how to import something easily, we're going into details here already. So I know that we might need some more webinars regarding e-commerce, which is really doable even after the deal. So we are hosting a lot of those webinars, then explaining step by step and specific use cases. And this use cases, it's not only for WooCommerce. What I'm showing here is it's the same thing for Magento. It's the same thing for Presta, for Shopify. It doesn't matter. It's always pick a source, get a target, and do the mapping. And when we are done finally, so we mapped what we need, I just have one thing, which is a constant value it is always there. The constant value is always in the mapping screen. It doesn't matter if you have it in the file or not, because it could happen that there is an information that you need in the target system that is not in the file. And this is why we introduced constant value. In this case, we have the product type. So the status of WooCommerce, because we need to know, is it published or is it draft? And this is why I'm using the constant value here. And now we are loading the values from WooCommerce, and I say, okay, all the products that I import are now published. I could also send them to draft, or if you have something like listed or unlisted, you can map it and say, okay, if listed, then publish; if unlisted, then draft. So this is how this typically should. So now we are done. So I can again choose who should be notified when succeeded or when failed. I can enable the scheduler and say I want to repeat this every hour, or I do it manually here in this case. So just remove that trigger again, and I enable my task and finish. So, and now I have it in my list. I need to find it. So it's WooCommerce. You see here, import products to WooCommerce. We show here that we go from CSV to Woo. And I just need to run the task. And now it's queued for execution. So we are now picking the file and validating the file.
So right now it's going through the CSV file, right?
Exactly. Right now it's executing, and we grabbed the file. We sanitized the CSV file, so we checked the file if everything there is valid. We can even download the file here that is controlled by SyncSpider. Gives us an error message. Seems to be a small bug here. And you see that it's not validating because we did some mistake somewhere. So the row was unsetted because we changed the structure of the file, which is actually a good sign. We know that we did something wrong, which needs to be fixed. And this is important for all the debugging purposes to understand how what you need to correct in the file that it works also in the target system. So we processed all the 10 items, and we did not import any of those items because we needed to skip that value. Okay, so what I can do now, I can go back to the project. I can go back to my my task, and I can now try to fix this because I know SQ was wrong. It was not validated correctly. We expected something else. So I go here back to my CSV and I set it back to text. Okay, because I know that the values in the file are different and they won't get validated like this. So let me map that again. Hit the next button, finish. I forgot to enable it, no problem. I can do this also from the dashboard and activate the task again from here. No, I'm not allowed to. There still needs to be one problem. Just check it. Okay, seems that Costa did not listen to me. he planned an update for today, and I said, please don't do it at between 5 and 6.
So right now he's updating the platform, right?
I'm pretty sure he is, because he released the new version. We are now at the moment, you will expect a lot of downtimes because we are releasing 2 times a day at the moment with the new integrations that we build. And typically we do this around about noon and around about 5-6 p.m. because it's the end of the day here. And we are releasing the final things. And this is what currently happened. It's always some kind of a 5-minute downtime where the software is getting the new data and the new integrations. And this is exactly what's currently
okay, so
happening.
meanwhile, we can maybe answer a few questions.
Sure.
So question from Steven, it's quite long. Does SyncSpider provide for authentication or authorization when API actions call for it, like sign-on or two-factor authentication? I think typical use cases are in healthcare, financial services, travel industries, etc. Thanks.
Okay. So no, we currently have. If you mean to log into SyncSpider, we currently just have a regular login without two-factor. Please just put it on our FeedBeer roadmap under the general feature requests. Two-factor authentication.
I think Steven means. I will repeat the question. Does SyncSpider provide for authentication or authorization when API action call for it? So I believe like from external source, or maybe Steven, if you can elaborate your question in the chat, that'd be awesome.
Yes, please. But two-factor authorization for SyncSpider itself is something that is interesting for us as well. It's easy to implement because we can do this with the Google API. So just put it there. If it is this that you want, just put it there, and we will do this definitely, because it's important when it comes to private data. It's always important. Yeah.
Question or maybe suggestion from Erwin. Would like to see multiple step and/or conditional logic if possible.
Conditional logic is not yet there. Conditional logic is something that we will implement. It's currently done with the workaround of filters. So you have conditional logic with filters, and you need to just create several tasks and set up the filters accordingly so that you have those conditional logic. But we will have a more extensive way to build out conditional logic and fire specific tasks after each other.
Okay.
And it takes too long for this webinar to show something like this, to be honest.
All right. And Alex is sending a message. I would like to see some examples, but with Shopify. I tried today to connect my Shopify shop, and it wasn't so easy.
That's true. You still need to reach out to us to get the private app from Shopify from us, because we are not yet listed in the Shopify App Store, and therefore a private app is needed. And all you need to do is reach out to our support. So we give you this link to the private app or the information on how you can install it.
Yes. Okay, Steven elaborated his question a little bit. He told external source seeking to authentic API request.
So as I understand the question, for me it's still not clear. Sorry for that. So just reach out to me on a private channel, then we can discuss it.
Yeah, I think it'll be best.
It depends. It depends on how the API works for the target system.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm just checking in Shopify now. So meanwhile, you can ask more questions. On the other screen, I am just preparing a Shopify store. So just let me know your questions. And meanwhile, I try to find a store where the app is installed and where I can test it for you and show it for you how it works.
Yeah, guys. So meanwhile, Norbert will prepare everything. Keep the questions coming here in chat, and I'm writing them all down, and we'll be answering them. Lorgan is writing, "Oh, someone's gonna get spanked for updating at busy time."
I'm just writing a long message.
And guys, don't forget to join us tomorrow as well. And on Thursday, I'm traveling to these two gentlemen to Vienna, and I'm gonna interview them there on eCommerce conference in person.
Yeah.
I haven't done any interview in person since Sicily when I went to visit a SEO Tester Online founders. So it will be quite the change. So guys, make sure you will join.
So So I'm afraid that I can't show because I don't have a store for me.
Ah, right.
Manage private apps. Let me see if I.
Perhaps while Norbert is setting up, I may answer some questions, or
Yeah.
do we have any additional? Yeah.
Yes, Jonathan is asking, does SyncSpider use credit system like Zapier?
What would that be?
What is credit system, Jonathan? Can you please elaborate again in a question in the comments? What do you mean with credit system exactly? All right, another
like
question.
zaps, number of zaps, I'm guessing, or something like that.
Maybe. Another question from Jarek, and he's asking how to report the bugs.
Yeah, Alex, please.
Yeah, sure. Again, we have that awesome thingy that we have SyncSpider.feedbear. So SyncSpider.feedbear, you also can report bugs there. And we check that we get notified by email, we test the bugs, and our devs are on it. I can again type the link.
You can also go and send it in the chat so that we can make a ticket out of it if it's a specific bug and not a general bug. If it's something that you're facing, so you can use the chat here also as a support system.
Yes, and Jonathan, yes, he meant the number of zaps with the credit system.
Yeah.
That will be the pricing, but as we said, nothing about pricing for a few more days. And we don't have just zaps, we have entire tasks in SyncSpider, so it will be a bit different.
Interesting.
So let me see, I just connected a Shopify store. What I did for now is just I went to the app section here, and all you need to do is manage a private app and create a new private app. And here you give it a name. The emergency email is yours typically when you get informed, but as long as we don't have the app ready, you just need to put something in there. It's an obligated field. And for those fields, you give read and write access. And that's it. You hit the save button, and you understand that API is provided, and then you need the API key and the password. Okay, and when you do the new integration, you just click on the settings and provide the URL of the store, which is up here. Or not, sorry, this is the partners one, this is the right one, so which is up here. And the two credentials, API key and password, and then you can proceed to the next steps. In this case, I'm picking my CSV file again. It's here on the public. Then test CSV. I'll do this quickly now. Okay. Validating, everything cool. I just have text, and text. Next. Filter the source data. And I'm here in the mapping screen again, where I see all my attributes of the Shopify store. Let's give it a name, description, short description. I'm not sure if it will allow me to add the SKU, because I'm not sure if Shopify is allowing something else but a number, but we will see. We have a price. And we have an image. So, and then it's again, the next step is to enable it. I give it another name. This is my Shopify import, and finish. And all I need to do is then run it. And you see here, CSV to Shopify is again working. Do you post those Spider-Man GIFs, guys?
Yeah, guys. Meanwhile, when it all loads, make sure you will post your favorite Spider-Man GIF, not gift. But if you post a GIF, you might receive a gift.
Yeah,
A
namely,
soft shell Sync Spider jacket. That's something you really want to receive. So
yeah.
make sure you will comment your favorite Sync Spider GIF in the comments on
Let me
Facebook.
quickly stop the sharing so you can see that cool soft shell jacket that we're giving away today. Yeah, so here it is.
Very well presented.
Thank you.
We saw a sleeve. Good job.
Oh my God. Okay, so here we go. Here we go. Take a look. Great jacket here. Okay.
And
So
you will receive another jacket, not the one
mine, not
Norbert
mine.
is wearing right now, but brand new Spider
Brand
jacket.
new, yeah, for your Spider-Man gift. So
Because the jacket Norbert is wearing right now is way more valuable than just to be given away.
exactly. So let me share my screen again. So you see here that we got the file already. We validated it, but there is something missing. So it's an invalid name here that can't be blank, and this is why it's not allowed to be imported. But it's exactly that case. So you, of course, you need to always know the target system a bit. So you need to know what is allowed and what not. And typically it's when you create a product and you enter something that is not allowed. Like in this case, I'm pretty sure that the number here is not allowed because, as I said, I think Shopify expects that they get really just a number without any signs in it for the SKU. Then it will also not work via API. So all you need to do, my test case was simply for WooCommerce prepared. So you need to know a bit about your target system. We can only do that what the target system allows you to do, even when you create it manually in the store. Then the API, if we do something different, the API will also restrict the same or send the same errors as if you would create that product manually here. Okay, so this is the only thing you need to know. Those two products, by the way, have been imported in another test run with the other test file as the CSV. So this is also from Sync Spider sent. But yeah, I would need to change the file here to the right format, and then we can run the import. But mainly this is it. So mainly this is exactly how it works. You need to prepare your files or your source. I could show you something different if you still have time and if you if it's fun for you to watch. But we could do something entirely different. So let me just check if I have products in my WooCommerce store. I think I have. So here we have our WooCommerce store for the testing, and I will pick those two products and just restore them because they are currently in the trash. Let me restore them. So let me see. Now I have products. Let me see. Yeah, here are my products. Now what we can do is we can pick as source. We can pick the WooCommerce store. Okay, we can select products. We can, or let's do something different. Let's select orders. Okay, we want to have the orders in our Shopify store. So let's pick orders. Because we did not even talk about orders today. It's the same thing. You pick the orders and send it somewhere. You could send it to the local CSV, which is on your shipping provider's host, and they fulfill the orders. We have a lot of such use cases where we send those CSV files on a daily basis to the shipping provider of a customer. But you can also send it to your Shopify store because you fulfill all orders there. So we can create the order on the fly in the Shopify store. We could pick all orders or just specific orders. So we're validating now. We can say all orders or only orders that have been created after the last import. We can define a time frame when the order came. We can pick all orders or just orders with a specific status. And we can change the order status after we import the order. So you always know then, let's say processing, we pick all the processing orders and set them to completed after the import, so that the user even gets a notification that the order has been fulfilled. It's also possible. So again, filter, again, mapping. So now all I need to do is map again the fields from WooCommerce that I have for orders, and these are plenty, with the fields that I have in Shopify. And so I'm sending the order data over to Shopify, or to my CSV, or to the local ERP, or getting from Amazon. I could also now send from WooCommerce data to Amazon. Works the same way. I pick WooCommerce as source, Amazon as destination, do the configuration, do the mapping, set it live. Any questions?
And once you set the mapping, you are all set. So you don't have to do it every time, once again and again.
Yeah, one-time debugging to have everything set and you're done.
Mm-hmm. So basically the first initial setup will maybe take a little bit more time, but
Yes.
then pretty much the fast matter of just five minutes, maybe shorter even.
Yeah, but well, it's especially for e-commerce, you need to know this takes really a bit of time, because you have so many fields. If it comes to shipping, alone for shipping, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 fields from WooCommerce just for billing address, the same for the shipping address, and you have still not the product data. So yes, for a whole setup of an e-commerce workflow, you might need 2 or 3 hours to have it set up entirely. But
imagine doing it without SyncSpider.
Yeah, it's a one-time job, but it is e-commerce. E-commerce is very special. When you sync just 2 apps with each other, what might you sync? The name, the email, the address, 5, 6 fields. This is done in a few minutes. E-commerce is special because there is so much data you need to map, but SyncSpider is a tool where you really can do this.
Mm-hmm. All right, 2 questions. One from Akim, one from Erwin. And question from Akim is, maybe now it's a good moment. What other WordPress plugins are supported?
WordPress plugins is very, very funny, because I have a cool use case. It's even e-commerce related. Let me show you something. And don't worry, it's again in German language, the backend. So at the part of it, no, it's even English. Cool. I have one customer where we built, or the company built a whole store, and it has the products are filled with SyncSpider, and the products coming from Odoo, which is an ERP software. But not only the products are coming from Odoo, we implemented for this customer also a store locator. So there are stores where the goods can be picked physically. And this store locator is a plugin that I purchased on CodeCanyon. It's a classical store locator plugin. The cool thing about our SyncSpider WordPress plugin is that we also can read every custom post type. And so all the data for all the stores that are in here are coming from Odoo using SyncSpider as middleware. Every single entry that you see here was done via SyncSpider from Odoo. So every custom post type that is built in WordPress standards. So for this one, we needed to do a small modification in the plugin because the developer has forgotten to enable the meter fields for WordPress. So this is one line of code which tells WordPress that the fields need to be considered as metadata. If you have something like this, just reach out to us. We help us. We will also write the knowledge base entry so that you know which line of code might be edited. It was really just one line of code. And this entire module with all the free fields that are there were visible in SyncSpider, and we were able to map them from Auto.
All right. So any other plugins supported in as well?
Every custom post type.
Mm-hmm. That's amazing. Okay, I hope that we answered. Question from Erwin. Can you duplicate tasks and the associated mapping?
Yes. You just hop over to your project settings, you search for the task that you want to duplicate, and just press the duplicate button.
All right. And like everything inside will be just duplicated.
Yeah.
Like, exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
What is something that is on our roadmap is that we started already, but this is still a bit long away, but we started already our AI-based mapping. AI is a buzzword, I know, but we called it like this because we will learn the typical names of something. So in 90% of all e-commerce related mappings, SKU is there. We know that already. Description can be short description, can be desk, can be Beschreibung in Deutsch. So we will learn specific words and that they are mapped together, and we can give you a mapping suggestion in the future. So when you go to the mapping screen, you will have a button that say suggest mapping, and we will do from our learnings that we have from all the systems, we will do the auto mapping for everything. It's something that is planned, that we are already analyzed, that we already slightly started a bit to implement it. It will still take quite a while because it's very complex and complicated, but it will be definitely there. It is high requested from all our e-commerce users. Then we don't talk about 3 hours mapping for e-commerce anymore. We are talking about a few minutes because we know a lot of the mappings that could be done already.
All right. Alex, by the way, there's a long question in Zoom. So if you could please read it, just go through it quickly and then answer it. It's quite long, so I will just ask maybe a few more questions with to Norbert. Mm-hmm. So I don't see any questions coming in. So maybe Norbert, tell us a little bit more about like what people can expect in ecom when it comes to SyncSpider. Like what are you working on right now? The most exciting feature?
The integrations are for us now the important things. So Etsy, eBay, International Rakuten, Amazon US. This is what we are working. I also have some plans that are not yet officially on the roadmap, like a smartphone app where you can shoot pictures and send and create products on the fly, have the stock on the fly of e-commerce store. Doesn't matter which e-commerce store it is. We are working on let's call it SyncSpider storage. So you can store your product informations directly into SyncSpider and send it elsewhere, and update also product data here, order data here. So it's then called SyncSpider storage, and yeah, especially on integrations for now. This is what we're doing.
Mm-hmm. All right. Question from Alex. He's asking, how can I get an information from Idealo? Where can I find an API key?
For Idealo, we currently support the CSV exchange. So you just need to have the feed URL to list the products on Idealo, and you can just reach out to me directly on the chat, and I will provide that for you.
Yeah, so Alex, just reach out to Norbert and he will provide it to you. SyncSpider, Alex, do you have you read the question?
Well, wow, the question is quite long and it took me a while to understand it, but let me rephrase it. Perhaps if I'm not right, Henrik will will give us the better question on Facebook. So basically, what Henrik wants to know is, can we do some synchronization between application, not just sync application, but entire workflows to let applications incorporate between themselves. Sorry. So one example of this would be manage such a this kind of a sequence.
Maybe check the dismissed questions, answered questions. Sorry.
Sure.
I maybe can answer that question because I think to know what it's after. So it's again for workflows. So what we are planning to release quite soon is to trigger a task after the execution of one task. So you can build entire workflows. So you could say, I have a task that is called import products to WooCommerce. And in the last step at the activation screen, you can then say and specify a second task that should run directly afterwards. So you could even sync up two entire different systems with two tasks. So you start one task and then you fire the second task and bring back data to wherever you need it. This is something that we already really work on. It will be released pretty soon. We need it for other projects as well. So it's really something that that you can expect quite soon.
All right.
Henrik, I hope this answers it. If not, as I said, ping us on Facebook.
Yeah, he says yes, spot on. All right, amazing. So far I didn't see any other questions, either on Zoom or on Facebook.
Because we bored everyone with so much deep insights and nobody.
I mean, this was very technical webinar. Not technical, but thorough.
yeah, it was.
And of course, guys, I understand that this might be like hard to process. So feel free to watch the replay. Unfortunately, I messed up today and I went live only in group instead of Facebook page. So you need to watch in the Facebook page. Facebook group, sorry. So just go to PitchGround Facebook group and the replay will be available there. So you can just watch it. But I will be uploading it by the end of this week on YouTube as well. So it will be on YouTube too. So guys, do you have any other questions so far? Just let us know in the chat. I don't see anything. So let me quickly share my screen so I can show you about upcoming webinars, which will be even more exciting. So today we talked about how to put your e-commerce business on autopilot. Of course, you can watch everything in the replay, as I mentioned. And tomorrow we are talking about how to get the most of your lead generation Facebook ads with integrations. So if you're a marketer, this one is for you. And here we're live from eCommerce conference in Vienna. So I'll be traveling to Alex and Norbert to Vienna, and we'll be talking directly from the conference. By the way, will we have some I don't know, a conference room there, or will we go live from the booth?
We will go live from the booth.
All right, that'll be amazing. Looking forward. Okay, so guys, watch us live, really live on the 10th of October, and on 14th, of course, the big day. We'll be launching SyncSpider on PitchGround. And
cool.
We'll answer all your questions about pricing and how it will be all structured. So make sure you will join on October 14th as well. Yeah. So you can register for all these webinars on syncspider.pitchground.com. So make sure you will go here and just grab your seat, and we'll send you all the notifications up front. So
how many gifts do we have already?
I stopped counting after like 30. So guys, if that's the last reminder of how you can get this amazing jacket, SyncSpider jacket, Norbert and Alex have. So all you have to do is just comment your favorite GIF under the live video here on Facebook. in our Facebook group. So make sure you will just comment your favorite GIF, and we'll pick the best one. Actually, the voting is not based on likes, but based on our subjective
Of course.
feeling. So if Norbert and Alex will like the GIF the most, they will just pick the random winner. I promise we won't give advantage to anyone. We'll just pick random winner, and that's it.
Yeah, and we will announce the best GIF.
Yeah, of course. So you can be sure that tomorrow we'll announce the winner. So
great.
All right. Question from Lorgan, or maybe just a comment. I haven't ever used Zaps, so I'm still taking it all in, but I've always wanted to make my apps talk to each other. Amazing.
Amazing.
That's a good line. Make your apps talk to each other.
Stephen, thank you, Jakub, Norbert, and Alex. Thank you, Stephen,
thank you
for
guys.
joining.
Thank you, everybody.
And yeah, of course, thanks everybody. And yeah, thanks Stephen, Norbert, and Alex as well. This was amazing.
Thank you. Talk soon. Bye-bye.
Yeah, talk soon. I will see you tomorrow. Cheers.
Cheers.